Howdy y'all, it's Marina Ray. Today I'm hitting you guys with a book haul of all the books that I bought in July. There's 17, there's a lot. But before we get into that real quickly, you probably saw my new hair color reveal tweet. I told everybody if they got it right that I would put them in the video. So real quickly, I'm just going to shout out everybody who guessed any color within the blue family. Josh from Beards and Books. Ellie said what? Bookish L, Alexandra Roslin, Hope Faith Books, What's My Page Again, Raven Rain Books, Ligme Reads, and Just a Girl in Her Book. All those guys guessed a color within the blue family, so they got it right, obviously. So yeah, now let's just get on into the haul. I am going to break this up into 3 parts. The first part, I'm going to be showing you the books. The second part, I'm going to be showing you the manga, and the third part I'm going to be showing you the graphic novel. There's 14 books, 2 manga, and 1 graphic novel. So yeah, let's just get on into it. The first book I purchased in the month of July is What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard. Hannah from Clockwork Reader really recommends this book. I saw it and I had to have it. It's a YA contemporary, but it does have a lot of trigger warnings like anxiety, eating disorders, and self-harm. And this is about a 16-year-old named Elizabeth who has weight issues. She's recently lost 40 pounds and she's finally a size 0, but she's still not happy. She finds herself inside of a recovery center, but when she leaves, she has every intention of going back to her ways and still losing weight. Her mom has some weight issues as well. So it seems to me like in this book there's just a recurring cycle, and it's just about Elizabeth's journey taking an active role in her recovery. Being someone who's dealt with weight issues their entire life, I'm really excited to delve into this. I've been in her shoes before. I know what it's like, so I'm anxious to see how this book perceives an eating disorder like that. The second book I got was gifted to me by Spencer over at Common Spence, and it is Hocus Pocus in the all-new sequel. If you have been a subscriber for any amount of time, you know I am a huge Hocus Pocus fan. Hocus Pocus is my favorite all year long. I love Hocus Pocus. This is a YA fantasy and it has 2 books in it. The first book is Hocus Pocus, the way we all know it. The second book is actually following Max and Allison's daughter, so I thought that was really interesting and intriguing. And this cover, guys, oh, I love it. The next book I got was Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider, and this is a YA contemporary romance. It's about this boy named Lane who has been diagnosed with tuberculosis, and he's in this tuberculosis sanatorium where he meets a girl. It gives me the Fault in Our Stars vibe a little bit. I got this super cheap, so fingers crossed. The next book I got was The Hours Count by Gillian Cantor, and this is a historical fiction. I'm not really sure what it's about. All I know is it's a historical novel about a woman who befriends Ethel and Julius Rosenberg and is drawn into their world of intrigue from the author of Margaret. Based in 1953, so we will see. I don't really know how I will like this. I need to spread out my wings in the reading community and read stuff other than young adult and new adult. So this is an adult historical fiction. That's what Goodreads said anyway, so we'll see. Then I picked up June by Miranda Beverly Whittemore. And this is a historical fiction mystery romance. I went a little heavy with this historical fiction last month. It's about Cassie, this 25-year-old woman who's holed up in her late grandmother's mansion, and she gets a knock on the door that basically says that she is the sole heir to a legendary matinee idol, Jack Montgomery's vast fortune. But she didn't know a Jack Montgomery, and she don't know how Jack Montgomery even knew her name enough to put her into his will, especially as the sole heir of his fortune. So she starts to wonder if he's crossed paths with her grandmother. Then Jack's daughters arrive, determined to wrestle Cassie away from the inheritance that they feel is their due. Together they all come to discover the true reasons for June's silence about the long ago summer when Hollywood came to town, and June's and Jack's lives were forever altered by murder, blackmail, and betrayal. That took a dark turn quickly. Then I got The Trouble with Half a Moon by Danette Vigilante. And I read this actually for Booktubeathon. I gave it 4 stars. This is a middle grade YA contemporary novel, but it does have a trigger warning of abuse. It is just it's such a moving story, and it's so short. This little book packs a punch. It's about this girl named Deli who loses her little brother, and she feels like it's her fault. Since losing her little brother, her mother and father won't let her go out. She basically lives in her room, just looking out the window, watching everybody else live their life and the world pass by. But things start to change after a new family moves in below her. They have a little boy very similar to the brother that she lost in age and in character. The little boy turns out to have a really rough life, and this book is all about Deli wanting to save him in a way that she couldn't save her own brother. The next book I got was Sweet Girl by Travis Mulhauser. This is an adult contemporary, and it is about this woman named Percy who goes on search for her missing mother. Her mother has been unraveling for a really long time. She's afraid that her mother is somewhere strung out on drugs or something. But when she arrives and there's no sign of her mother, searching the house, she finds Shelton and his girlfriend drugged into oblivion, and a crying baby girl left alone in a freezing room upstairs. From the moment the baby wraps a tiny hand around her finger, Percy knows she must save her. A split-second decision that commences a dangerous odyssey in which she must battle the elements and evade Shelton and a small band of desperate criminals hell-bent on getting that baby back. Sounds like the perfect adult contemporary. Then I picked up Beatle Bone by Kevin Barry. It's a fantasy fiction novel, and it's about John Lennon in his 40s. He wants out of the limelight, so he escapes off to an island that he previously bought to kind of put himself in isolation. On the way there, he finds himself in the midst of a shape-shifting cab driver full of Irish charm, and a dark whimsy that ensues can only be termed a magical mystery tour. That sounds so different. Then I got The Visionist by Rachel Urquhart, and it is a historical fiction. It's about this 15-year-old girl named Polly who sets fire to her family farm, killing her abusive father. Her and her brother find safety in a Massachusetts Shaker community. It's a time when girls in the Shaker community are being visited by mystical visions, earning them the horrific Visionist and bringing renown to their settlement. The settlement has not been blessed with a visionist until Polly arrives and is unexpectedly exalted. The role brings unwelcome scrutiny as she struggles to conceal her dark past. Then I picked up Open Season by C.J. Box, and this is book 1 in the Joe Pickett series, which is a 19-book long series. I did not know that when I picked it up, but Goodreads informed me of that, and I was like, 19 books? Wow, I can't even finish the Harry Potter series, and I'm starting a 19-book series. It's a mystery thriller. This Wyoming game warden named Joe Pickett, and he's the game warden that will not take bribes or look the other way, and he's just far from popular. He finds this dead body on the edge of his property, and he takes it personally, and he goes on a search to find out what happened and who done it. And I heard that it gets really, really good. So it's 19 books long. That's a long series. Does it take them that long to find out who done it or what happened, or do we see multiple deaths? Then I got Days of Awe by Lauren Fox, which is a contemporary novel. And this is about a woman whose life just feels like it's unraveling. Her marriage is on the rocks. She's lost her best friend. Her daughter is becoming a teenager and is infuriated with her always. And it's basically just about Isabel trying to find out who she is. She's put this label on herself her whole life. She's always either been best friend, wife, mother. And since all this stuff is on the rocks, or gone, she's just trying to figure out who she is now and discovering who she is without a title. And I really like the concept of that, because as being a wife and a mother, you can get lost in those titles quickly and you end up not really knowing who you are. You lose yourself. The next book I got was This Census Taker by China Miéville, and it's about this really lonely little boy who witnesses a profoundly traumatic experience. He tries to escape. He ends up getting caught and getting trapped and living with a deranged parent. He dreams of getting out of there, and then one day a mysterious person knocks on the door, and he has an instinct that this is his ticket out, except for this person carries a bunch of records, knows a lot of things they shouldn't know, and it makes the little boy feel skeptical. He doesn't know whether to consider him a friend or to consider him an enemy, and it just sounds really intriguing. It is a horror science fiction, so I don't read much science fiction, as you guys know, so I'm anxious to read this. I need to give science fiction a shot every now and then. Then I picked up Gone Feral by Novella Carpenter. This is a non-fiction biography memoir, which I don't read a lot of. I really don't read enough of non-fiction. I feel like I really need to start reading more of that because I feel like I'm just not giving it a chance, and if I gave it a chance I would enjoy it more than I think I would. This is about a woman's father. He's in his 70s, he's a homesteader, he's a Korean War veteran, and he ends up going missing. While they do find him, his daughter has to come to terms of he's 70 something years old, her time with him is limited. It's just about her coming to terms with that. Then I got Bradstreet Gay by Robin Kerman, and this is a contemporary mystery thriller. Let me just say this has horrible ratings on Goodreads. I don't think I've seen a book rated so bad. It has a really, really, really bad rating on there. And it's about these two people at Harvard, and one of their classmates ends up getting murdered. A widely known and very liked professor finds himself in the spotlight for the murder, and he ends up being the primary suspect. And a bunch of the friends' secrets come out, and it's supposed to get pretty intense, but don't take my word for it, because Goodreads, go check out Goodreads before you read this. I don't know, I didn't see that, probably wouldn't have picked it up. Now let's find out the manga that I bought. The first one I bought is Orange, the second complete collection. This is a compilation of 4, 5, and 6, I believe. If you don't know, this is a slice of life romance manga. If you want to know more about my review on it, it's also in my Booktubeathon wrap up. Ultimately, this is a book about a girl who receives a letter from her future self telling her she needs to save someone she cares about because something really bad is going to happen to them. Go read it. Go read it, guys. The second manga that I got is Alice in Murderland, and this is the first volume. It is hardback, which I thought was really cool. They are super expensive on Amazon though, so just a forewarning. There's quite a few of them out, and they're more expensive than your average manga, I guess because they are hardback. This big family who meets for tea once a week, and at this one tea meeting, the mother reveals that she wants them to fight to the death, and all these brothers and sisters start fighting. The reason it's called Alice in Murderland is because this right here is like what she transforms into whenever she goes to fight. They all transform into something different, and she turned into that. I gave this 2.5 out of 5 stars. However, I will be continuing on with the series because the covers are beautiful. That sounds kind of vain, I guess, and kind of just weird, but they are really pretty, and I have hope for the plot. The plot does not make sense in the first one, but that's average. I mean, that's normal. That's generally what happens in manga. You kind of are lost in the first volume, but this is very gory. The artwork is super chaotic. It's intriguing. The plot is promising, so I will be continuing with the series. And then the graphic novel I bought last month is Snot Girl, Volume 1. And I loved this so much. It was confusing. Like, I love the artwork, I should say, because the story itself is really confusing and it leaves you with a lot of questions, but I've heard those questions do get answered and stuff gets revealed, and it gets a little better in the next volume. This is a compilation of a bunch of single comics, so I think there's like 6 in here. Okay, maybe there's not 6, maybe there's 3. I'm not sure, but it's a compilation of single comics that they put into a volume, and volume 2's out, and volume 3 we're waiting for, I believe. Fashion blogger with self-insecurities, I guess you could say, and just some weird stuff happens to her, and she comes across some really weird people. I like the artwork though. The artwork is beautiful. I give this 5 stars, I believe. I said more about it in my Booktubeathon wrap-up again, so yeah, go check that out if you want a more in-depth review about it. Yeah guys, that's everything I bought in the month of July, which is a lot. I buy a lot of books. I buy a ton of books, but I get them relatively cheap, so yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.